With a mini LED backlight, powerful AI processing, a VA panel and the new Freely service on board, does the mid-range Hisense U7N offer the performance and value for money you'd expect? Well, let's find out. Hello and welcome to another video on AV Forums. I'm Phil Hinton, the site editor, and I'm a fully qualified ISF, THX and PVA calibrator, and in this video we're taking a look at the Hisense U7N 65-inch mini LED TV. Just like the U7K from last year, the U7N is the second top ULED mini LED TV in the current 2024 range, and it offers a 4K VA type panel, a quantum dot layer and a full array local dimming fouled mini LED backlight containing 384 separate zones. The Hisense range is positioned to appeal to a mass market audience and offer as many of the latest features as possible at competitive prices. The U7N is available in 5 screen sizes at the time of this review in July 2024, starting with the 55-inch at £1,299, this 65-inch that we're reviewing at £1,599. There's a 75-inch at £1,899, an 85-inch at £2,799, and a massive 100-inch version at £4,799. Hisense has added those monster screen sizes for 2024 as more and more consumers start to demand the larger screen sizes. While we're testing the 65-inch version here, picture performance and features should be very similar across the range, but as you get larger, panels may change in the range, and again we're looking at a 65-inch here. Build quality remains impressive with a good use of materials, and the TV feels well screwed together, with just the panel front feeling a little bit wobbly and flimsy. The stand is also solid and it does a very good job while also looking decent. There's a new remote control for the U7N, which includes a solar panel to charge the batteries during use, and it's larger than previous years, but it's also fully featured with direct access keys to the latest video on demand services. There's a central direction pad and menu keys, and of course you also get volume and channel sliders, and to the bottom are number keys. The solar panel is a very large section at the bottom of the remote, and it's very well built with a quality feel, and it sits neatly in the hand. It's not just the build quality that impresses, as the U7N also supports HDR10, HDR10 Plus, HDR10 Plus Adaptive, HLG Hybrid Log Gamma, IMAX Enhanced, Dolby Vision and Dolby Vision IQ High Dynamic Range formats. For audio, there's support for DTS-X, IMAX, DTS and Dolby Atmos formats, and the sound system on the TV offers 2.1 channels with a rear-facing subwoofer for added low-end weight to film soundtracks. However, while the audio system is well specified, it's instantly bettered by adding an optional soundbar or an external sound system. The built-in system is best described as serviceable. Just like last year, the U7N incorporates a MediaTek MT9618 Pentonic SoC with the OS running the company's proprietary VIDA Smart TV system. The HiView Engine Pro utilises AI to add sharpening and other image processing in some of the picture preset modes. For accurate viewing without any unnecessary processing being applied, you can use the Filmmaker mode and set the image brightness to match your viewing room. This mode will give you image quality that gets you as close as possible to how that content was mastered and intended to be seen. On the Hisense U7N, you'll also find 2 full bandwidth, 48 gigabits per second HDMI 2.1 ports, and the ability to run at a maximum of 4K 144Hz with a gaming PC. For the latest generation of consoles, you get 4K 120Hz including Dolby Vision with the Xbox Series X. You also get Freesync Premium Pro VRR support, ALLM, which is auto low latency mode, and EARC on one of the HDMI 2.1 ports. In this case it's HDMI port 3. There's also a game bar for instant feedback on gaming settings and features, and overall the input lag measured at 13.2 milliseconds for 4K 60 and 5.2 milliseconds for 120Hz signal. Filmmaker mode out of the box on the Hisense U7N is reasonably accurate, with just an excess of red in the mid-grays, pulling the delta E errors over the visible threshold of 3. This is not overly obvious when viewing content, and it's not a concern to worry about given that all other picture presets are overly blue and massively inaccurate on the Hisense. We would encourage Hisense just to take a little bit extra care and to try and remove any errors in the filmmaker mode in the future. The Hisense U7N measured 1130 nits on an industry standard 10% window and 658 nits full screen in the most accurate filmmaker mode. This is an improvement over last year's U7K model with better highlight brightness. However, it's not all positive, and with 25% coverage being close to 1250 nits, it creates an imbalance in the HDR image, with midtones being a little bit too bright, whereas it should really be the much smaller windows that are the brightest, as those represent specular highlights. The windows at 1, 2 and 5% are much lower than the 10% results, meaning that the image is missing dynamic range and contrast as the TV is trying to combat blooming artifacts. Taking this approach causes a lack of dynamic range and an imbalance in HDR images, making the specular highlights just not as bright as they should be, and the midtones look too bright and washed out. Screen uniformity, displaying a 5% brightness slide on the Hisense U7N, has the edges that are slightly brighter than the centre of the panel, and there's also some clouding being visible even at this low brightness level in dim viewing surroundings. This is much less noticeable once you introduce ambient lighting to the viewing environment. Moving up the brightness slides, we noted darker edges to the panel and a slightly lighter central areas, with some dirty screen effect DSC also present and noticeable. Uniformity is patchy in places, and sports content, where we have pitches that are more uniform colour and cameras moving over them, highlights the DSC and makes it a lot more noticeable. This is true in both dark viewing and bright viewing environments. We noted that motion with 24 frames per second content was also very good, with correct pull down applied, resulting in no induced judder being seen. Movement is also good, with no artifacts or trailing behind objects that are travelling quickly through the frame. 50Hz broadcast is also displayed well, with no obvious signs of microstutters, though they are visible if you are eagle-eyed enough to find them. And overall, at this price point, the Hisense U7N handles motion very well. The video processing and upscaling are also good on the U7N, but SD channels do tend to look the worst, with soft and fuzzy edges and a real lack of definition, as you would expect on a 4K panel. Broadcasts in 1080i look impressive for the majority of the time. However, we did see some softness and image artifacts from time to time with over-the-air broadcasts. Freely did look good for the majority of our viewing, but this could vary depending on the channel content and channel type. The new service is HD where possible, and is a new way of getting broadcast TV over IP rather than connecting an aerial. As we found with last year's U7K, watching SDR TV and film content on the U7N in a normal, well-lit living room poses absolutely no problems at all, and images look natural and colourful. The inherent traits of LCD are masked to good effect, and when used in such surroundings, the Hisense is capable of producing some very bright yet very accurate image quality. Moving to HDR10, including HDR10 Plus content, and we did see some niggling issues with the U7N, which are similar to those that we encountered last year with the U7K. Because of the way it is handling HDR10 content, either streaming or external source, the image PQ EUTF is washed out and displays artifacts that really shouldn't be visible. Dolby Vision is much more successful, as it uses dynamic metadata which tells the set how to map the content to its capabilities. This is certainly an improvement over last year, where Dolby Vision Dark mode looked too dark compared to reference. The Hisense U7N offers bright and vivid images for the typical living room, as well as a good degree of accuracy to grayscale and colour, along with some excellent gaming features, HDR support and its Vida Smart TV system, and it will appeal to the mass market audience. It is a little bit expensive when compared to the direct competition, but I still think it's good value for money in the right use case, and as such, it comes recommended. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do like and subscribe, and please also consider sharing this with your friends on social media. If you want to find out more about what normal users think about the U7N or any other Hisense TV, you can also head over to AV forums and you can read the owners' threads there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.